Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Once again, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. We have a lot to cover this morning, so I want to go ahead and jump right in. As per usual, this call is being recorded. So if you have anything that you missed or you want to go back and listen to it, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you'll find all of our recordings. The second thing is I do have all the lines muted. That way we avoid any kind of background noise. But please make sure to ask any questions in the chat box, and we'll get to any and all of them that you may have. Thanks again so much for joining. Let's jump right in. I know we've been talking about stacking health plans in your Medicare sales and how important that is. And I'm sorry if I keep reiterating this, but I'm going to keep doing so. Stacking Medicare plans is the way to help your clients have a complete solution. Cross-selling doesn't work. It just takes too much time. It creates confusion. And the biggest reason why cross-selling doesn't work is because it makes the client question the advice that you provided, and psychologically it seems like you're just trying to oversell them stuff. Oh, well, you need this, and oh, you need this. But stacking is not only faster and easier, but it helps the client understand how all of these pieces fit together. And psychologically, to the client, it seems like they're just pieces to an overall plan. Selling them separately with cross-selling makes them feel like you're just overselling them. So we've gone through these stacks in the last couple months. And so what we're going to do is spend a little bit of time focusing on extended care stacking with a MedSup. And then we'll do a MedAdvantage here in just a moment. So, and by the way, I should have mentioned, our focus today is really going to be stacking extended care on a MedSup. So let's say you are selling a MedSup and a Part D. You're probably used to stacking those two pieces together, nothing earth-shattering there. But then to provide your client with a complete solution, you can stack an extended care, a cancer, and a dental. You can do all of those things for around $100 a month, maybe a little north of that, less than your MedSup and less than your Part D. And in a minute, we're going to talk a little bit about how we include that in their budget. The same goes for a Medicare Advantage stack. However, because Advantage plans are typically zero premium, that's where we add to the stack you just saw a hospital indemnity plan. Now, I know some agents, I see them on this call, in fact, that like to have a hospital indemnity plan that includes a cancer plan. I love that even better, but if your hospital indemnity plan does not have cancer coverage, then you can stack them separately. So why is this so important? It's because there's nothing in this stack that is unimportant or unnecessary, and let's just kind of go through them for just a second. So obviously you're enrolling people in their Medicare Advantage plan. Great, that's going to provide them their doctors and their hospitals and their prescriptions. Terrific. However, the hospital indemnity plan, for not a lot of money, helps cover their copays, deductibles, coinsurances, and other out-of-pocket costs. As I keep mentioning, seniors don't have $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 or more dollars to cover their MOOP, cover their out-of-pocket costs on an Advantage plan. But they do have $40, $50, $60 a month. They can afford that. So if you're leaving your client exposed to their out-of-pocket costs, just know they can't afford it. Of course, extended care fits in because that's where Medicare fails. That's where it is insufficient, including an Advantage plan. When it comes to getting extended care beyond a hospitalization, it just doesn't cover it. Why cancer coverage? Well, if you know anybody that's ever gotten cancer, you'll know no matter how good your health plan is, whether that's individual, group, or Medicare, it's just not enough coverage, and you end up with significant out-of-pocket costs. The data tells us that on average, a Medicare beneficiary who gets cancer, regardless of how good their health plan, has $5,000 to $7,000 in out-of-pocket costs. And that's just your garden variety cancer. It doesn't mean going to places, centers of excellence. If you're wanting to go to the Mayo Clinic or you want to go to MD Anderson, that's just an out-of-pocket expense. And last but not least, let's not forget our dental, vision, and hearing. This is still the most consumer-demanded product. We have done not enough work in making sure that we're providing a dental benefit to clients. And I will just tell you, dental plans stick. We have seen it in our data that when agents enroll in a dental plan in addition to an Advantage plan, The Advantage plan sticks 2 to 3 years. The dental plan typically sticks for lifetime. As you know, our favorite carriers for all of these senior products are Manhattan, Aetna, and Wellebe. Certainly there are others out there, but I want to take a minute and talk a little bit about each one of these. And I already see a typo in there. I don't know why it says rider for Manhattan, because that's actually one of the purposes of this call. Is Manhattan just released its new hospital indemnity plan. It's available in about 20 states. We're going to have a training, I believe it's on, no, I think it's this afternoon, 2 o'clock, come to think of it. If you haven't seen the new hospital indemnity plan, you definitely want to learn about it. I believe it is 2 o'clock this afternoon, Central Time, on the 20th of August. But let's focus on extended care. We have great extended care products from Manhattan, Aetna, and Wellebe, and we'll talk a little bit more about the Wellebe Lead program here in just a minute if you're not in it. The cancer plans are also with all three of those companies. They all have dental, vision, and hearing, and again, I apologize for the typo. All three also have hospital indemnity plans. So the nice thing is, and by the way, pick your favorite. Manhattan is definitely one of our lead carriers. Aetna is certainly our big brand, but Wellebe is probably our fastest growing carrier relationship. So they're all great. And if you don't have all three, you need to have all three. If you're not, please get contracted with all three. Depending on the state, depending on the circumstances, all of these can work terrific. Again, I apologize on that bottom row. That is a typo. All three have hospital indemnity plans, including Manhattan, which just launched theirs, I believe, August 6th, and we've just started to see our first few sales. So really take a look at that Manhattan hospital indemnity and where that can fit in your market. The last thing I wanted to mention is about best in class. So I want to tell you guys a little story. So when we first started stacking, we used an approach called best in class. And what we would do is we would go to different carriers and we'd stack all these plans, and we would stack together this carrier's product with that carrier's product, because we would say to the client, these are the best in class. And the interesting thing that happened is the client pushed back. We couldn't understand why. But what we found out was the best in class approach did not work. They would push back by saying, isn't there just one company that's good enough? And so we went back to the drawing board and said, look, we're thinking we're getting too smart for ourselves, and we think the client needs to have the best in class of this and the best in class of that. And what they really wanted more was simplicity. They wanted simple, and having 4, 5, 6 different products from 4, 5, 6 different carriers was too much. It was too overwhelming. They already had to deal with that on other stuff that they didn't have a choice of, but they didn't want to do that here. So it is my guidance that you learn about all three companies, but stay consistent in your stack. Present one company. It doesn't have to be the same company every time you present, but don't mix and match the carriers. So, Mrs. Jones, here is a stack of extended care, cancer, dental, vision, and hearing, and hospital indemnity, all from insurance company X, whatever, Manhattan. So here's how I distinguish when I stack these plans. So the first thing is, there are some people who just like the brand. So that's where Aetna fits in. They just flat out have a great brand. People know who that is. And anytime I have somebody who's brand conscious, I'll go there. Manhattan pricing tends to be the most competitive. Anytime I got somebody who says price is the most important, I tend to go to Manhattan. And then when somebody says, hey, I'm needing a certain benefit structure, that's where I typically will pull out Wellebe because their benefits are strong. But it doesn't really matter. You pick your favorite. Stay in the same lane, though. Don't mix and match carriers and products. It's too confusing. The customer doesn't understand which carrier they have for what product. Even if you have to mix and match the Med Sup, don't mix and match these products. Okay, it's going to be a short one today. Okay, so I've been talking about this lead program now with Wellebe for a while, so we're going to touch on that here in just a moment. But I first wanted to remind everybody that we have a lead system called Lead Center. And what Lead Center gives you is the ability to purchase Medicare leads. They're not extended care in particular, but it doesn't matter. You're stacking all these plans on a Medicare sale anyway. And the beauty of Lead Center is that you can buy as many or as few leads as you want at whatever price point that you want. They got leads that are down to like $1 or $2 and all the way up to like 50, 60 bucks, depending on what you're looking for. You don't have to worry about compliance because Lead Center has made sure that every lead in their platform is compliant. All geographies are available. There is no market where we don't have leads. So you can't say, well, you don't have any in my neighborhood. Yep, we got all geographies. You can also buy them off the shelf, which is faster, or you can do a custom order. So you might say, I want to do, a lead. I need leads in this geography with this set of circumstances, and the lead vendors will come into the Lead Center and they will deliver leads in those particular circumstances. That's the beauty of it. You can either buy the ones that are already there, or you can custom order however you want. And then you can convert, make sales, make money, and get ready for the selling season. And I am happy to help support agents in Lead Center by providing lead credits for those that stack extended care. Again, pick your favorite carrier, but I'm looking for agents that I can support that are stacking extended care every chance they get. And that's the nice thing about stacking is it doesn't mean that every time you do it that a client is necessarily going to take everything. It's okay. But you've done your job by showing them everything they need to know, and then let them pick. If they don't pick it, that's their business. You can't make them do something they don't want to do. But at least you sleep at night knowing you've provided them the best possible solution. And at the end of the day, they got to make a decision because it's their pocket. As you know, we also launched the Wellabee Lead Program for those of you that have Medicare book. I think the first set just went out last week, I think it is. So hopefully we're going to start seeing some results this week. But basically, we have worked with Wellabee on an extended care lead program. And basically, here's how it worked. Wellabee, through its third-party vendor, I'm going to show you their website here in just a minute, will send a mailer to your Medicare clients. Let's just say you have a book with 500 Medicare clients. The idea is to generate inbound calls directly to you. It uses this letter on the right-hand side of your screen that gives an extended care message. But the beauty of this thing is that the co-op is so significant that it makes the cost to the agent less than $100. I did this myself with my book, and it's reasonable size, $80 to the agent. I mean, you don't even have to work very hard to get your $80 back, or my $80 back. Now, for some of you that might have a bigger book, it might be a couple bucks more than that. I saw some agents that were paying $40 because their books are smaller than mine. But bottom line is, it's so dirt cheap by having Wellabee pretty much co-op the bulk of it. Really, really cheap. So really quickly, I want to show you the website. So here's the website that Wellabee and North American have jointly set up with our lead vendor. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of an idea as to how this works. And I'm happy to, I'll put a link to this website in the chat so everybody can look at it. But basically, simple and easy is there are a few steps that agents would need to take in order to participate in the lead program. It gives you step-by-step instructions, but you start out by just putting your contact information on the right. Please make sure that you're contracted with us, otherwise it'll bounce you out. You'll upload the list, which is a little tricky, by the way. So if you have not done this yet because you can't get the uploading to work, please let me know. I've got a set of instructions. We cleaned this up a little bit after some of the first few folks struggled with the uploading, and I think we fixed it, plus the directions are more clear. So if you struggled with it before, let me know and I'll send you a new set of instructions. You upload the list, and really that's it. You will notice that Wellabee actually doesn't receive your client list or your Medicare customers. Obviously, that would be a HIPAA problem. So it actually goes to a third-party lead vendor that protects all your information. Once the mailing drops, they destroy all of the data within 3 days, and it says it right here on your screen if you look on the little asterisk, it says it is then destroyed within 3 days of placing the order. So that way, nobody's running around with your Medicare book. The advantage with this approach is that it's super cheap, it's super easy, it's painless. Even if it only generates onesies and twosies, it works. I will say that the agents that have told me that they have had the most engagement are the ones that have also proactively reached out to their client base, letting them know that this letter is coming. They've emailed them, they've texted them, they've called them. Just sending out a mailer is not going to change your fortunes, but it has really been the centerpiece of successful agents in this program that have proactively contacted their clients about opportunities to fill this gap that is extended care. I will put this in the chat. There we go. All right, couple last things, and then we will finish up with any questions that you have. There we go. So what are the next steps? So if you're not contracted with Manhattan, Aetna, and Wellbe, you need to get that done. That's going to be really crucial. Second thing is get into these lead programs, guys. I mean, everybody keeps saying how they need more prospects. If you've got downstream agents, keep them busy. You can either purchase leads at a lead center. You can get involved in this program, and I got others too. If this is not enough, let me know. I've got other lead programs I can get you in. You do got to get contracted with Manhattan and Aetna and Wellbe. And then don't forget, you don't want to also be hooked on these lead systems either. Make sure you have a really good marketing plan for the upcoming selling season. I was just reviewing one from Christina this morning, and man, just talk about the gold standard of marketing plans. I'll share it with anybody who's interested, but you really got to have a marketing plan to capitalize on your upcoming selling season. You're really running up against the clock if you haven't put one together yet. So if you haven't, please let me know, and I would be delighted to give you some ideas on how to create one. I even have a template where I can show you some best practices, but you really, really need to have a marketing plan. All right. Oh, and then last but not least, training on products. So we have gotten our carrier reps to step in and provide training on all of these products. So if you need one-on-one training, feel free. There's also webinars. As you can imagine, Aetna, Wellbe, and Manhattan all have regular weekly ongoing webinars. Please jump on those and learn all that you can. And then there's also tons of videos that you can watch as well. Okay, see any questions? This was a short one. Wow, you guys got 10 minutes back on your time. Okay. Well, I wanted to thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you found this helpful and informative. That's the conclusion of today's training. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you next week, Tuesday, as well. Take care, guys.